Okay, I've shot video before on doing a raised bed. Some people still had some questions that weren't quite clear. The machine cuts a 2-foot swath with the hilling attachment on the back. So when I originally lay out, I'll put a stake with a string going down on the side. Then I'll measure over 2 foot, and then I'll put another stake and run another string down. Then I'll do the width of the row, which I find very convenient to use the width of my rake. And I'll run a string again, and then I'll run another string for the other walkway. Now that gives me my first row. The troybilt horses and the ponies and the juniors back years ago all came with a provision, a bracket down on the bottom here for the hill or furrower. The wings come off for furrowing, and that's what I use for doing the potatoes and whatnot. And then the wings go back on for hilling and doing raised beds and whatnot, and I hill the potatoes. I have a separate one just for furrowing, so I don't take the wings off. We got row tomatoes. We got the floor to weave trellis system. People ask me about that too, and Haas Tools has a video on YouTube. It's a really good explanation on how to do it. But I use the metal T-posts. They last forever, and I just think it's a really great option to use. We go every 4 tomatoes, and I think I did 3 or 4 foot apart on these. And we nail them in, and we try to keep everything up off the ground. We try to keep the plants up off the ground. We try to keep all the lower leaf trimmed, pruned off, so nothing comes in contact with the ground, because we're having a perfect year for fostering blight. And I already did notice some plants having some lower leaves affected already. So we treated them with a fungicide, which I don't like to do. I don't like to spray anything, but we treated them with a fungicide, and they're looking really great and healthy. But we'll give you a pass on here. We've taken 1 pass already, but we're going to do it again. And I hope this is kind of being more clear than maybe one of the other videos I did. Look at her going. Loosen the soil so the tiller really will do its job really well. Let me show you up close too. But on this floor to weave system, like I said, we go every 4 tomatoes. Is that not okay? And what I do is we go around all the way up, and then when we hit the next stake, we come back and we go on the other side. And you can get pretty rough with the tomatoes. They're a pretty robust plant, and the beauty of this system is you can truss up a lot fast. And by having the strings like this, I can manipulate these plants back and forth without any real issue. And as we keep going up, I keep going up probably every 4 inches when I do the courses of strings. And it gives the tomatoes a tremendous amount of support. And like I said, we can move them around a little bit. So, I mean, depending on if, you know, they're getting a little out of skew or anything. But there it is. It's a whole row of aromas. We use them for doing salsa, ketchup, and canning. Great tomatoes. We've got several other varieties on the other side of the garden. But there you go, in a nutshell. Again, like I said, it was very simple. Like I said, I run a string. Even though there's not a string here, we do run a string on the side. And we measure over 2 foot. Do the width of the rake. We put another string, walkway again, and a string. And it gives us what you saw, where I go up and down with the rototiller. And there you have it. Beautiful raised bed. Love, peace, and chicken grease, everyone.